As you're working with MySQL this semester, I encourage you to experiment and try different things. And whether you manage to delete a database or change it through experimentation, or simply in creating a malformed or unintended SQL statement that deletes or updates more records than you intended or deletes an entire table, you're going to need to know, how do I put my database back to the original state with the sample data that the instructor expects me to be working with during the course, so I get the expected results and have the experience that I'm supposed to have in my learning and exercises. So let me show you how you can drop your database and then recreate it. So here I am in MySQL Workbench. Let's go ahead and connect. and so I've connected. I haven't yet selected a database to use. I think we'll go over here and use TAL as an example. So imagine for a moment that I've inadvertently deleted all records or updated all records incorrectly in TAL, and I just need to put things back to a fresh state. If I come over here in the navigator pane and right click, I can then tell it to just drop the schema. That's going to drop the entire database. So drop, and do you want to drop it now? Yes, I do. And it's gone. Okay, so no TAL at all. So how do I get TAL back? All right, so if you are working on a machine that you've set up by yourself, then you would have already at the beginning of the semester created the database. We're just going to revisit that. And I have on this system set up the downloaded SQL scripts in a folder off of my desktop. So I'm going to run one of those SQL scripts. Let's go find it. File, and I want to open a SQL script. And I was just in here, so it's gone right back. But let's see where I would find that. If I started out here, I look in my desktop, and I've downloaded it to the CIS-107 directory. And in the CIS-107 directory, I have a folder called MySQL Scripts. And in the MySQL Scripts, another folder called MySQL Scripts. Open it up. And then there's another folder called MySQL, kind of deeply nested. Sorry about that. And in here is a script called TAL. That's the create script for TAL. There's also a drop TAL script, but I deleted the entire schema, so I don't need to run the script to do it. I could do it by script, but here I've already done it manually. So I'm just going to grab TAL SQL, and that is the script that will create the database. And let's take a look at it. Create database TAL, use TAL, and then it does some things to create tables. And if we scroll down, it starts inserting data into those tables. And so that's a tested and proven script. So that's nice. Let me create the or enlarge the output window so we can see what's going to happen here. And let's just go ahead and run this script. And I see lots of green check marks. That's what I want to see. It created. It inserted a bunch of records, and it looks like now it has finished. Okay, so let's come back and refresh, hit the little refresh key on my schemas. And oh, look, TAL is back. And if I look, TAL, the tables are there. And let's just take a quick look at a couple of the tables. If I right click on the customer table and say, give me the top 1,000 rows of that table, and there aren't even 100, let alone 1,000 rows in there, so we'll get the whole table. And so there's the table, and it's got the data back. And okay, so that worked for customer. Let's go check rep. Did rep look good as well? Let's select that. Yep, we've got our reps back. So now TAL is completely back, and any changes we might have made to the data have been wiped away, and it's been refreshed with the original sample or educational data set for us to work with. So that's how you do it for TAL. You do essentially the same thing for any of the other databases that you want to drop and then recreate. And so even if you make a misstep, you have a safety net. You can do this in a couple minutes, and you're back on track. So please be brave, be bold, experiment, satisfy your curiosity, and explore. What would happen if? I do that. And don't be shy about doing that. If you have problems or questions, as always, let me know.